right. I picked up this tool chest today, and I am a part-time collector of tools, and a part-time hobbyist woodworker. I don't do a lot, and I certainly don't do much that's very impressive, but I enjoy working with them. I enjoy finding these things in the wild and discovering them, and I've enjoyed watching some videos of these old chests that people find full of the old tools, and thought that the next time that I find one, I should document it. I should document cracking it open and exploring what's inside. So this one I picked up locally, and the I'm down in southeast Wisconsin, and the guy who sold this to me said that based on his family history, they believe that the owner here, W. Schwartz, was a shipwright in Milwaukee back when they were still making a lot of ships in the area. So he believes that's what this gentleman did, and based on some of the things I found in this chest, I think that that's probably a good guess. Although definitely not everything in here is original to the chest, but there's definitely some things that lean in that direction based on what I've seen so far. So I'm gonna crack her open here, and we'll take a look. So as you can see, it's got a few saws stored on the lid there. That's pretty common for chests from around this period, and got a couple of tool trays and some things in the bottom. So we'll just start taking a look. I guess we'll start with the saws on top. And you see, I love these toggles. You just toggle like that, and it holds these in. Start with this guy on top. These don't look extremely old, not too far before the turn of the century, so probably I forget when it was, 1897 or so. They started doing the round top nuts like that. But look at this one. You can see there, that's a Diston with the sunken medallion there, and just make out a little bit of the logo still on there. This one's been used a fair amount, been sharpened a few times. It's not so old that it's got a nib. Looks like it was spared that treatment and spared the debate on the nibs. It's got a broken horn up there, repaired in a typical way. So I think we'll just gonna set these to the side as we pull them out. This guy, you can tell from before you even get him down, when they've got a point like that, they've been sharpened a lot. This guy, I always think that these are older, but I guess I don't actually know. When they've got these sort of tall, flat nuts like that, I forget what they're called. It might be steeple nuts, I've heard them called. I always think that they're older than those round top nuts that we saw before, but I don't actually know. And no medallion on this one, no etch or stamp that I can see on there. But that, of course, doesn't mean it's not a good saw. So it feels good in the hand. That's probably why it's been sharpened so much. Maybe that was his go-to saw. Set that one off to the side, and this one here, I'll just again these little improvisational things, just to get it done. Hold in what you needed to be held in. This one This one looks like it's been put through the ringer. A little keyhole saw. I think both the previous ones were crosscut saws, and well, yeah, this one, those bolts, they don't go all the way through. They're just screws. So this was probably a replacement handle, maybe one he made. So this one's definitely, he needed, I don't know if you can see that, but the teeth are all beat up real bad on this one. So yeah, this one's probably seen the best of its days are behind it. It's probably not got a whole lot to give, but you never know. Maybe there's still another use for that one. Well, yeah, we'll just start looking at the chisels here. So lots of interesting things here. I'm always drawn to the big ones right away. This one's probably a 2-inch or so, and that is a Witherby, TH Witherby. Witherby, the name was owned by I think a couple of different companies, and so I think they continued to make chisels under Witherby's name long after Witherby was long gone. Some handles. Looks like a number of handles here. This is one that I don't know. I don't know what this is. So it's kind of hook shaped, and it's got a sort of chiseled, it's like a gouge. So this bottom part it's like a piece of sheet metal, or a flat piece that's been turned over at the bottom, and the front's been sharpened, like an out canal gouge. So some sort of maybe for scooping out a really thin channel of some kind, but I think it'd have an out canal or an in canal sharpening if it were for cleaning out a groove. But yeah, so if you know what this is, let me know. So yeah, that's one that I don't recognize. Start of a project, maybe a handle for something. It reminds me a little bit of a keyhole saw handle, but it's definitely not the right shape for that. So yeah, I wonder what that would have been. Gouge with looks like a framing handle on it, so they probably struck this one pretty good. I don't see a mark on this one. More handles. Some heavy duty one again, probably for framing of some kind. I apologize, I'm doing this with from on my phone in one hand rather than have it mounted somewhere. So I'm a little wobbly. Probably not the best cameraman. This would be a wedge for a wood plane, similar to these ones down here that we're going to get to. A wedge for a wood plane. Another chisel handle. This one looks like maybe he turned it himself on a lathe and just put a length of pipe on there. Looks like a homemade handle. little William Butcher chisel. Butcher made chisels over in England. So, but those often, especially back in the day, those tended to find their way over here pretty often. I've run across a lot of Butcher chisels. This is another Butcher, small Tang chisel. If you don't know, this style where it's got a metal like spike that goes into the handle, that's a Tang chisel. The Tang is the part that goes into the handle, and it differs from chisels like this, which is another one that doesn't appear to have a name on it, but that's a socket chisel. So the handle in this case goes into the socket on the chisel, whereas the other one has that sharpened pointy tang that goes into the handle. So lots of people will have different debates about which is better, but I find that they both perform admirably. This looks like a homemade awl of some kind, or a punch. It's got a pretty serious spike there, so it'd be a heavy duty awl for punching holes and stuff, or marking out layout on larger wood projects. This one, I'm trying to read the name on that gouge, looks like a Sorby, so another English maker. Not sure that he was in Sheffield, but there were a lot of edge tool makers over in Sheffield, England. Made some really fine tools. This one looks like a handmade chisel. I bet that was filed down from a file and made into a chisel, which a lot of old timers did when they needed a rough work chisel, or just another one of a particular shape that they didn't already have. This is a chisel. Looks like probably ground down from a punch or something like that, for a specific need. A lot of these guys, they'd sacrifice old tools that they didn't need anymore to make them into something they did need in the moment. And when they're working with wood, they'd often find a new size or configuration of a chisel or something that they don't already have. So always in need of something new to finish out the job. Another gouge. I don't see a name on this one either. Another homemade chisel, looks like. So, oh yeah, on this one you can see the grooves down near the bottom there. I don't know how well you guys can see them, but there are grooves down there towards the bottom, the remnants of the grooves from its life as a file. This one, oh, how short that one is. He's been used up pretty heavily. Got another mark there with the owner hasn't stamped their initials over the top of it, so you can't see what that one is any longer. This one's basically what people now call pig sticker. It's a mortising chisel, so it's real sturdy for pounding on to make mortises and stuff. And metal, just a metal punch style chisel. They use these for metal work and for stone work sometimes, all kinds of things. You need it to be sturdier than a wood-handled chisel will be. So I don't really do much work where I need one of those, but it's handy to have one around every once in a while. Really long flathead screwdriver bit for a brace that you'd turn by hand. So really long one for reaching into tight places where you can't reach. And then this guy, I feel like I have seen one of these before, but in the moment, I could not tell you what this is. I almost want to say it's some sort of saw set, or a companion piece to something to do with saws, but that's just a guess, because I really have no idea. So again, if you know, it's got a name there on top, but I can't make it out. I'll have to clean it up. So if you know what this guy is, you let me know down in the comments. This is really the first video I've ever made where I had the opportunity to ask for people to get in the comments and let me know anything. So these I'm just gonna move to the side rather than taking them out. A little marking gauge. This looks like a homemade one. make some really fancy ones. I got a couple that are nicer, ebony and brass, and this one probably do the job just as well. It's like maybe a slipstone or a sharpening stone for sharpening curved blades. So I think it's stone. Might be some sort of hard compound of some kind. Another wedge for a plane. These, I did glance at these when I was checking this out and deciding if I was going to purchase the chest or not. I thought it was funny, looking at the top, I don't really have any idea what this was. It doesn't really tell me. I didn't look at the side, which does tell you. It's an old pair of safety goggles. And it's still, you can see down there, it's still got the original instructions or stuff with them. Boy, I tell you what, I probably could resell these to some steampunker, in a top hat with gears all over himself for a pretty penny. Somebody who's got more money than sense. But I guess, this is one of those things. I've got a hobby too, and I bet people who are into steampunk probably think that I've got more money than sense when I spend money on tools. Probably don't think that that's a worthwhile endeavor either, but so I shouldn't criticize what they're into. Here we've got some more bits for a brace. These are, I think, called gimlet bits, and I could not tell you the best use scenario for gimlets, what their intended purpose is, or their best use is. But looks like maybe we've got a few in there. These are more standard wood auger bits for a brace. I know that there are different patterns, like a Jennings pattern or what there's another main guy who invented the other major pattern. I don't know the difference. They're all just wood bits to me. And some are better in hardwood and some are better in softwood. But I honestly don't use them too often. Most of my drilling tasks are more immediate things that need to be done quickly. Look at that. I wonder if that is the key to this chest. And if it is, that's a real score, because these things almost never come with keys. So that is a real prize, if that's what that is. So I'm gonna have to test that later and let you know if that's what that is. Another auger bit, another big chisel, some expansive bits. That one's missing its blade, which I don't see in here right now, so not much good without its blade. I'll probably just get chucked. This one's got its blade, so you can slide this bit here. And I apologize, I'm down here in my basement shop, and so the furnace is nearby, so you may hear that kicking on. But you loosen this screw, and that allows this blade here to slide, and that allows you to change the diameter of the cut of this bit. Some people like them. A lot of people don't think they were a great invention in the long term. This one, it's I forget what these are called. Maybe I don't think it's a spoon bit, but it's basically a gouge that on a gouge bit. And so when that turns, I'm not exactly sure what the purpose of that one is. So I'll have to look that one up. Center bit or batwing bit. Some people really love these. I've used a couple, but not enough to really have an opinion on them. It's another little gouge bit for brace. A little modern sort of twist bit that goes in a brace. This one's just a point, looks like. Yeah, that one's just a point on a This little guy is for chamfering holes. So it's got a little cutting edge there, and then you just stick it down in the hole and it chamfers that top edge or countersinks it. So that's a useful one to have around if you're doing this sort of thing. Little bat wing, little center bit. Another masonry chisel, small or metal chisel. Tiny little gouge guy. I'm not really sure what he'd be best for. Little gimlet on a T-handle. You know, likes to punch holes in leather and stuff like that. Sometimes these are used for. A little tiny set of wing dividers. So this one's basically function like a compass, but they can also be used for finding the inside measurement of something. These ones got a name there. A lot of times these are Starrett. Sometimes they're other, I don't know, manufacturers. I can't quite make that one out. Another gimlet and glass cutter. So I'll end this first video there, and we'll do another one to do the next box.